What's up, YouTube? West Coast in here. It's been a while, right? Like a month. A lot has happened within that month. A lot of like couple Turo jobs and Taskrabbit. First the Turo from I last saw you guys was I dropped it up at Long Beach, which I never been over there. The airport, Long Beach. Um, so I got a Uber. I reserved an Uber because I knew it was gonna get expensive later on. So really expensive because I got it for $23 and I was still complaining. And when I like wanted to see how much it would cost prime time, it would have been $100. So save that. Went to went to Long Beach and easy exchange. He left me a $50 tip, which was cool on Venmo. Because you don't tip on Turo. He said that the truck went smooth and that he's gonna call me back up if once he comes from Hawaii. I guess he's like a professional surfer. His wife was cool. Everybody's cool. He forgot some stuff in the truck, and I texted him, but he never texted me back. So it's been over like more than a month now. After that, I had another tour client. The dates are all over the place because I didn't write dates on these. I had another tour client. Guess he was like really new because he didn't know how to text me, and it was simple. Like I think it was like a 3 day, and then he came. Well, actually, he didn't came. He came late, so I was calling. It was gonna be my first cancellation, and I called Turo, and they were like, "Okay, we're about to cancel it." And then he came, and I told her, I guess they put me on hold, and I just hanged up, and I told him, "Look, you were like close to get canceled, but I was not gonna. Cause I don't know how much you get on the cancellation. I think you get like you don't get 100%. You get like whatever you're supposed to get, and then they cut 50% more. So it was not a good idea canceling it. So I told him, "Hey, you were close to canceling," and he's like, "I'm sorry." Cool, dude. Um, and in exchange, when he brought it back, it's pretty simple. These tour rides. Um, so that was that tour, and then I think I have one more next week, which is the August 17th. I think it falls on a Wednesday, so that's like another client that's coming to go pick it up over here at the house, and then all right, Taskrabbit, man, Taskrabbit was a mess this whole month. Okay, so this might be like a long video. Like 4 years ago, I had a client. Like the only client that I never got. I didn't get into it. I just didn't like how he moved. Seemed like not a scammer, but he's a good dude. But he's just like the way he maneuvers, the way he kind of like snakes his way not to pay. So we end up like cousin and I, we end up doing this job for him, and we end up meeting Andy Dick that day too. I mean, he's like an investor for some kind of technology firm or whatever he was trying to say. Anyways, we did like 2 days of work, and then we only got paid like $300. It was supposed to be at least maybe 1,000. So I erased his information. I told TaskRabbit, look, like he's not a good client, and it is what it is, right? Then I guess 4 years passed, and this client hit me up talking about we used to work together, and he said his name, and I'm like, I can't remember all the clients. So I was like, all right, cool. He said we're gonna move a pod. Usually the pods that I do is always like the small ones, like you can only fit like a couple items, and then he was gonna get a U-Haul. I was like, all right, cool. In my head, I knew I shouldn't just trust my gut feeling because he said U-Haul and then pod. I was like, how big is this item? And then he told me 27 footer, which is the big, like the almost close to the semi ones. And I was like, okay, so we were supposed to be there at 9, and then We end up waking up at 8. We got breakfast. We end up being at 9 there. Waited another hour, 10, and then on top of that, we end up like leaving the U-Haul spot on Hawthorne like at 11. So when he came, I realized it was the guy that I was not gonna mess with. I shouldn't just left them there. Like I told my cousin, and my cousin was like, you know what, like he was like back on, like he was saying not some good stuff, and he's like, you know what, let's leave. And I was like, you know what, I don't know, it just felt like I agreed to the job, even though it was like cash. I was like, maybe it's been 4 years, maybe he has changed. Nah, not even the case. Um, yeah, so we end up I end up driving the big semi with no gas, so I put $100 in. Drove it from Hawthorne. I don't know if it's Hawthorne or South Central. From South LA to Van Nuys, which was only like I think 15 miles. It had no gas, and it's a V10, so it was like I filled up for like $100, um, half the tank, and we go, and the pod was not even a pod. It was like a cargo one. So I told him, look, and it was hot too because it's in the valley. So I told him, hey, I need help on this one, and he ended up getting some guy from Home Depot, and all three of us just working. I think we were there for like I think 2 hours. And again, like this, I never drove big. I don't know if it's a big rig, but it's pretty. I mean, it's something I never drive, and I wasn't really uncomfortable with it. But I mean, I already like agreed to the job, even though there's like no contract. So we get there and everything's smooth. We finish, and plus my cousin had to go somewhere too that day, so we had to like hurry up. And he said like it's a 4 hour drive. I don't know why I believed him, honestly. Like that's why I was like, I wrote on my notes: fool me once, shame on him; fool me twice, shame on me, right? And we go to Bel Air. There's a mansion there, nice house. And so me and the other helper from Home Depot, we start unloading, and he wanted everything upstairs. It's all stairs, and then I'm already done. Like I'm beyond done. And then we don't get a lunch. It was just like a back line again, like here we go again, right? But this time I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave. So I left everything in the garage. My cousin didn't came because his car got overheat at I think at the 405 freeway. So he ended up like leaving the dollies to him, and he went to go pick it up. And it's a big story. Like I'm just trying to summarize it. He leaves the dollies for me, and then he's not coming back. And I told my cousin like, hey man, it's like a lot of work here, and he still wanted to go upstairs. Like it would have been another like a whole day of work. And then I was like, nah, not this time. So I should have just left it in the U-Haul, but I just wanted to finish it just to say like whatever. And then I knew he was not gonna pay me. He was gonna like find a way not to pay me. And I mean, a lot of bad stuff happens to him, so you kind of see why. And so I was like, you know what? Like I'll just leave it here, and I'm just gonna dip out, cut it. And he was like, and then he wanted me to take the big rig back again. I was like, no. I didn't even want to take it in the first place. So I ended up like getting an Uber, right? And I had my dollies, and then I had the hand truck dolly, so it was gonna be a little bit hard to put it in the car. So I told the Uber guy it's cool if it doesn't fit, and you have to cancel it. But he made it work, so I gave him like a $20 tip, and he was really happy about it. He's a really cool dude. And then we were just talking about it, and I was just talking about the client, like how bad he is, and I'm just like, nah, never again. So before all this, I tell the client, hey, you know what? Don't ever call me again. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't none of that stuff. And then he kind of understand where I was coming from. And I told him, just don't even pay me. It's cool. I'll pay my cousin. I always had good karma. My cousin was like, you should pay. It's just one of those back and forth things, So I'm not trying to like. Pretty much just my fault. I just took an L on that one. Like whatever. Never again. So after that, I've been getting like good clients. After, so because of that, I had to cancel a. That was like the end of the month of, where we're in August. So yeah, the end of the on July. That was like, I think the 30th. I don't know. I don't remember. It was on a Friday. Cause of that, yeah. Cause on a Friday, cause on Saturday I had a task that day, and I was so dead tired from yesterday. Plus I went out. It was a $200 job, and I guess he just wanted. It was the end of the month, so he had like return the keys and like all the stuff that he didn't want. He wanted me to just take it, and so I had to donate it. But I told the guy, look, I'm kind of tired. Like, find someone else. He's like, no, there's nobody else. You're like the only one online, and you know what I mean. That was kind of weird. Um, because I charge like $200 an hour, so he must be like, I must be the only one there. Because there's other people that charge little hours. He charged less, but I told him, you know what? I gave him some other links from other taskers, and we must have taken them. And he's like, hey, sorry, and I got hit with the accountability, so it's okay. I was just tired from the other day, and it was like at least a 6 or 7 hour job that I didn't even get paid. So I volunteered pretty much. And then before all that, I had a client here in what was it, Cerritos. That one was super easy. It was like $200 an hour, and it was to move these two couches from her house to the front to get picked up by the city. Which, you know what I mean, like, let me just, when you really think about it, like, all she needed was just a dolly and like a way to maneuver stuff, and that's it, you know. And the other one went inside the garage, which she just opened the garage for us, and then we just put it in there. I'm like, okay, like, we were doing like literally like maybe less than 10 minutes. So that one was super easy, and we end up like, the hardest part is just choosing what to eat by doing that task. You know, it was my cousin and I. You know, I mean, it was a simple job. And then what else do I have? Yeah, I finally got paid for the shopping one. It came in like a whole amount, so that took a minute. That's the thing about shopping tasks. If it doesn't follow through, you have to wait at least 2 to 3 weeks to get your expense and then the hourly rate. You know, it was a lot of money, so that's why I left. I'm outside of the balcony so I could see my neighbors. That happened, and then I guess because of that, I didn't want to do more shopping, because I didn't like want to wait till I get paid. So I most of them I just forfeited. I think the reason why I forfeit that one is because he wanted an Apple. He wanted an iPhone Apple, and I think the 11th. And then most of the time, Taskrabbit always cancels it or forces to forfeit. So I just volunteered forfeit. Like, hey, you know what? It's not gonna work out. Cause he said Apple, and then all of my Apple shopping clients never followed through. Um, so we got that, and then a couple of days ago, was this today's Tuesday, right? So on Friday, I think Friday, this client from Inglewood hit me up. We done a treadmill. That was the job that I met her. Cool client, you know. Um, she texted me like randomly, like, cause I just came from like Chipotle, so I was just done finishing eating, and then she texted me talking about like she needed to help her move. So I was like, okay, the treadmill again. So I called my cousin. He's like, hey, I gotta walk the dog, but I can meet you up later. And he was like, well, I don't know what day and time. And she was like, hey, I need this today, you know, like right now, like right now. And then she stayed here in Lomina, which is not far where I stay. Oh, it is not far. It's like only like 15 minutes. There's no freeways involved, so I have to take the street. And she's like, if you could come by yourself, it's okay, you know, because it was $200 an hour, and it says on my profile that I come with a helper, with a tasker helper, and she's like, it's okay, I just need somebody to help me because the movers are tired. I was like, tired? What are you talking about? So where she stays at, there's only like stairs. It's only like one, like steps, and then one good flight. And I guess she was moving her 2 bedroom. Pretty much she was moving out. It's a 2 bedroom. So I was like, damn. And the treadmill that I put up there, I never like checked her apartment, but she must have a lot of stuff because she said just loading to the truck it took them 7 hours, which is three of them, and they were pretty good tall dudes. So it's like I need they're already tired, and I don't know if they're gonna make it to load it to the new spot, which had more stairs. So I was like, okay, I'll be able. I got my stuff, and just left. 15 minutes I was there, and I think they were just getting there too. So we start unloading stuff, and they had everything. They had all the dollies and all the furniture dollies, and so we ended up just working. So it took 7 hours. So I was trying to beat that, and then we ended up doing 3 hours, and then also my cousin came within like the last hour, so we finished it. Yeah. So that for her, I heard she paid like at least 1,800 for the movers, and then 200 for me, right? So I did 3 hours, so that's 600. Plus I guess the fees at the Taskrabbit, and then and I gave some to my cousin too, and then she tipped us $40 each. So that came really expensive to her. The treadmill stayed in the garage. It was just a big deal at that apartment because neighbors were complaining because they couldn't make the cut inside the drive-through or the driveway because the truck was kind of blocking it, and everything was tight, and it was one way, and so the truck couldn't backed up because it was a big truck, and then it was like late in the day, so everybody was parked. But yeah, it was tiring that day. I see why she needed help because she also helped too, and her husband, and so we were just trying to knock everything out. Plus, they had workers inside putting the baseboards, so it was like 5 people there too. Like not 4 or 5. I don't remember. There was a little kid there too. He was the translator. So yeah, that was like, and it was just a lot of stuff. And then we were supposed to stay 1 more hour, but since we did good on time, because she needed everything to be out of the furniture blankets and saran wrap. Well, I don't know if it's saran wrap. But cut them up, open up everything. Yeah. So after that was good, and she was like, "All right, cool. Next time, I'll text you for the treadmill." I guess she wants it upstairs, but uh, so we left it at that, and that was Friday, and then 2 days after that, pretty much Sunday, she texted me because she has my personal number, and she's like, "Hey, I got a double door fridge, right? Like the Samsung ones. I think it was a Whirlpool, and it can't fit through the stairs. I guess once you go up to it's a cut, and it's like a little, I don't know what you call it. It's a big thing, so it couldn't fit. So she was like, "Hey, I need you to grab like, well, a team of 6. We're gonna lift it up, and then we're gonna go over the railing, because her apartment is it's too many stairs. Like I said, it's kind of weird because you go upstairs, the entrance, you go upstairs, right, to the front, and then there's little steps to the the living room area, and then you have stairs to the patio, and then if you reverse back, there's stairs for the kitchen, and then to the right, well, it's a stairs going up, and then like couple steps, and then you meet the dining room, and then there's the spare bathroom, and then the kitchen, and then and the balcony. So she was like, either we take out the railing, but she wants the integrity to be back. So you know, if you take it out, I don't know, like it's gonna lose integrity, and or we could just carry the fridge over the pretty much just put it over the wall, and then just put it inside the kitchen. And I never done a job like that before. I done the sofa. The sofa is different though. So on the sofa was like 4 people. So and she said she wanted 6, and she said I have already 3 people, and then you could bring 2, right? And she said her husband was gonna help. That would be 6. So I was like, okay, cool. We'll meet at 3 o'clock. And then by noon, she was like, hey, this is all cash too. So by noon, she's like, hey, the other taskers cancel, and so therefore it's only 3 of us and her husband, right? That's 4. And she said she was gonna help. I was like, when it comes to like clients helping, like I don't want to. I don't really trust them. Usually they might get hurt or they don't know what they're doing. So I was like, hey, let me call some people up. So I brought my cousin, his dad, my dad, my sister's boyfriend's brother, and then one of my soccer buddies too. He has like done the job for me, so it was 6 of us, and it was $100 each, so it's like $600. And then on IG, the tasker that was supposed to come messaged me, right, and he was like, oh, and we were talking about like, oh, you're the one that was supposed to come, and we just started laughing. I know him too. He's a cool dude. I guess they had a fallout within the pay, so and I guess she wanted, I don't know, I don't want to say what was their business, but it was just like he just canceled it. So she's like, okay, cool, $600. We all got there at like around 3, right? So we got there at 3, and she was saying we could take out the railing just in case. And I was like, oh, we'll do that if it's like we can't get it over. Worst comes to worst, we have to take it off. And so I told my dad, look, it's gonna be four here, so 1 in each corner, and 2 up there, so to receive it. I mean, it's not that, it isn't really that high, but you still gotta lift this, and then not scratch the walls. And so we put all the furniture, blankets, everything was good, and when I pushed it, it was light, but you just never know. I was like, this is kind of light, so I told my dad, there was a wooden table that she wanted to put on top, and it had a little bit more height, like a step ladder. And she was like, you can use the wooden table if you need it. And so I put all the tall people in the bottom, and then all the short people on top. So I was on top, so I'm short. And they all lifted, right? They all lifted, and then they lifted it like nothing. And then I received it. We rotated to land on its feet, and that was it. It was all that planning, and it was only for like a 10-second job. Paid her $600 cash, and she was like, "Hey, I won't leave the tip because you guys finished really quick." I mean, she has a point, and I told them, "Hey, like she didn't want a tip." She was like, "It's okay, like man, we didn't do anything." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I gave everybody $100, and she was like, "Hey, because I told them my dad was a handyman, and his cousins that they have the same name, so it might get confusing. His dad also paints. Try and get on him on Taskrabbit, but he's always like lagging on it. Both of them too. So I was like, hey, he paints too. She needed like all this extra projects, and she was like, cause I only do like moving stuff and delivery. So she was like, if you need like something more detailed, more hands-on, then these guys are it. Especially my dad. But other than that, I don't do putting TVs. I don't do none of that stuff. I don't do IKEA jobs. I could bring it to you, but I won't assemble it. So she was like, cool, everything's good. It's like, call you if anything else. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, that's it. That was the whole. I updated you guys. Just waiting on on the Turo client. So hope you guys have a good day and see you the next time.